So here we're going to be looking a bit at GPS data. So we'll turn off these two layers that we had, and we can turn them off like this, or we can just remove them. So for example, I can right mouse click here and select remove. It doesn't mean that the file gets deleted from the hard drive. It means that it gets deleted from the project, so it no longer shows up in the project. So if you want to open this up again, then you would just go open add vector layer and it would come back in. We're going to open a vector layer now, and we will look at the assets buildings, and this is a layer that TSAG has put together showing all the locations of all the buildings as well as attributes for them. So I'll open this file. It's a point file, so it's vector, and I can always zoom in and see this in more detail. So I use the zoom tool and see this in better detail, and I can see that this is very well done, that the center of the dot is on the center of the building. So that's very, very well digitized, and we have every asset there carefully put together. Now, one of the things that we notice is that we have several buildings here that do not have any attributes, and there are no points for them. So we have this one right here, and these other ones do not have any information. So we're missing these, and so the question is, how do we add this information? One thing we can do is go out there with a GPS unit, and any handheld unit will do, of course. The more expensive ones get better coordinates, and drive in and walk from place to place, or if you don't feel like it, you can drive from place to place and take a reading in front of each house. And then what you do is you save the file in the GPS software that you're using as a GPX file, and we'll see what those looks like soon enough. And what you can do then is open that file inside here. So when you see the open options right here, there are several options, and one is GPS tools. So I'll click on the GPS tools option, load GPX file, and this will allow me to open a GPX file. So I will go in here with the directories that we have and grab the GPX file that I created when I went out to the field and collected those points. I'll grab the GPX file here, and it asks me if I want to bring in all the waypoints, the route, and the tracks. The waypoints are the dots that I collected along the way. The routes are the bunch of lines which were the places I was supposed to visit, so it tells me how to get to different places. And tracks is the places I actually went. So this is the planned route, and this is the actual route, because this is actually tracked by the GPS, while this was planned on the computer and you put the lines in and upload them to the GPS. This is the actual thing as you actually did it on the ground. So we can import all of them, or we can just import the waypoints. It's up to you to see which ones are the ones you want. So I'll say all of them and see what happens. And you can see here that as we zoom in here, we can see the dots a little bit better. So I'll zoom in. So I started at one point right here, parked, and then walked to that place, took a reading right there, and that's that dot that's sitting right there, and I can turn these on and off, as you can see right here. So as you can see, I have this GPS location right there, this GPS location right there, and so forth. And this is the track, or the lines that I followed to get from one location to another. And so you can see that I have collected the information for all the buildings. So as I go through here, you see I cut through somebody's backyard, and so forth. So you can see all the locations that I went to. And you can even see things like this. What the heck was going on here? Well, maybe I needed to take a nature break, so to speak, when I was going through, and maybe I went in there. So that, this is the thing about tracking. It tracks everything you do. So you have to be aware of that when you're actually doing this kind of work. And so the tracks and the waypoints come in very nicely. And as you can see, it is also very handy and very easy. If you want to save this as a shapefile, you can always say layer, save as, and you can see this is a shapefile, and kababing kababoom, you're done. And that's all it takes to get this into GIS format. So it always seems like it's really difficult to get GPS data in and out of GIS, but almost every single GPS package that comes with the unit comes with the option of creating GPX files, and GPX files are really easy to deal with, and they are also very easy to bring in. And as you bring back this imagery here, you can see that I missed a couple places. So you can see that I missed this particular house right here. So one of the things you have to be very careful when you're doing this type of work is that you make sure that you do everything, because now if I needed to get this house and I didn't have this image, I would have to go back and drive here and collect this point just because I wasn't paying enough attention when I was doing it. And same story over here. I didn't capture this house right here. Dog came running out, and suddenly I went in and decided not to get too close to the house, and perhaps I didn't collect that point. So those are the kinds of things that you have to be careful with. Of course, one of the things that you run into is that as you're doing this, you have the the lines are basically just what you collect, and they don't look that great. And the same thing with the points, is the approximate location of the house, but when you digitize from an image, you actually have it exactly on top of the house. So that makes a big difference.